Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Who am I but a J Mac? Came into the game just to spit facts. Into the space that I'm in. They call me Bobby Drake cause I'm cold with the pen. I run no diamonds but I still shine. You can dig me cause my boy's mine. My tracks flame like a Gamu. The artist blood on my tongue. Thinking this is warm blue. I'ma throw with a gas leak. Camouflage in the mist but you smell me. One spark and I bet you I'ma blow up. They throw my name around. Get stupid then you go dumb. No rest for the weary. A versus thinking in his man but you can't see me. You rather drink than go pull up. But took a knife through the game, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. I came to eat at the a la carte. Got stripped of a bear, call me brainstorm. Then I come together like a Voltron. Then I pour all the planks, you Decepticons. Fake rappers to retreat like Cobra. 80s they can throw they like. Up in the storage and I'm E-Man. Up, down, down, man, I'm cheap. You a beast, man. I take a beat in. Ninja turtle rap, turtle glands get defeated. Hot in the ride, you can call me Night Rider. You can never stop me, cause I'm a guy ball. Bad attitude like a rocket, my whole to the A. And I bet you can't stop us. LL bad when I go and show up. You can hear the haters in the back. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie.
This is a test. This station is conducting a test of the emergency broadcasting system. This is only a test.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit. Taste the honey sauce. Taste the goodness of the biscuit with the honey sauce. Don't get that honey sauce on me. I don't like the way it tastes with my chicken wings.
We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What is going on, everybody? This your man, Dre Mac. I'm sorry. I got to shower and I washed my hair. I still need to blow dry. But, yeah, good morning, everybody. This your man, Dre Mac, coming to you again with another episode of The Dre Mac Show, 7:30 in the morning Central Time, 8:30 on the East Coast. You're on the West Coast right now. Go ahead, please, by all due means, get up, because you already know that the early bird gets le worm. And on today, we gotta talk about Peacemaker episode number 7. When I tell you John Cena does it freaking again. I'm not lying, man. I'm not lying when I say this. This has been some of John Cena's finest work as far as bringing out this emotional character in this series. And I watched the podcast of this episode today, and even all the, even the people that was on set with him was like, this is literally John's best work. This is literally John's best work. I mean, he absolutely killed it in the emotion standpoint. I'm also going to go over the tease, and we're going to slow it down when we get to the tease of episode 8. And there's something that James Gunn said about the multiverse in the podcast that I absolutely loved. Um no derpy. But yeah, so hopefully you guys are happy. Hopefully you guys are healthy. Shout out to my man Heavy Gan over at the Heavy Gan channel, but you already know how I do. The real question is,
Are you
Say why you hating on my energy? Say why you hating on my energy? I don't think you wanna be my enemy.
all right, all right. I knew you was joking, Derby. I trust me, I knew you was joking, but you wasn't, Chew Your Network. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Eddie Foster. What is good? What is good? I'm over this month looking like an 80s rapper. I'm looking like BG Knockout right now. With my hair all curly, just fresh out the shower, all of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here about to diss Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. Hold up, wait a minute. I gotta get at least put it back some. All right. It's about to get braided up. But Drake Day only make easy payday. All right, Barley Boy, what's up? Creisha K, what's up? Creisha Key. God, I see the KE and the Y and still say K. Olay, what am I doing? What is wrong with me? My man X-Man, Xavier Phoenix, what's up? Yep, Derp, that was a good episode. I'm trying to tell you, it's a good episode. And Hunter Iggy, what's up? And I'm agreeing with you, man. I really do hope they make a season 3. I do hope they make a season 3, man. It was it's good. Johnny Rastafari, what's going on? What's up? I told y'all in season 1, I absolutely loved this episode. I mean, Peacemaker. I don't know what it was about the series, but it started in the Suicide Squad. And again, I think because I had this idea of John Cena coming from WWE, I remember when he debuted. I remember Ruthless Aggression. I remember when he first came out, when he was a prototype over at OVW. I got a history with John Cena, Randy Orton, Shelton Benjamin, and Brock Lesnar. Like a literal history with these guys because that's when I was always into wrestling, but Ruthless Aggression era with Eddie Guerrero and Chris. I just have a relationship with that time period of wrestling, and seeing John Cena go from the Doctor of Thugonomics to being the modern day Hulk Hogan as far as the impact on the wrestling community, was absolutely amazing. But his character got stale. And when I first seen him in the Suicide Squad and what they really did with James Gunn did with John Cena, it totally changed everything, the whole entire perspective that I have about John Cena. So I looked forward to seeing Peacemaker. I thought it was a joke character. Like, not even gonna lie, like this dude got a whole toilet bowl on his head. Like, am I really supposed to care about this guy, whatever? And James, the Russo brothers, because I talked about the Russo brothers yesterday. But James Gunn also has a way for a way as a director and a writer for you to care about these characters, and he put them in situations where you absolutely really care about this character. And there's a scene, y'all know the scene I'm talking about. There's a scene in here where, for one, my mouth dropped. And the raw emotion that Chris displays, in that scene, yo, I'm not gonna lie, it tore at my heartstrings, y'all. It tore at my heartstrings, and I absolutely loved every bit of this. It's just great, phenomenal acting at its finest. So I love this. I love this show. I think Peacemaker, and this is what I'm talking about, man. It's who like put it in the comment section, or you guys watch this on the replay. Did you hear about Peacemaker prior to the Suicide Squad? Because I didn't. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not really a big DC fan, but I knew damn well he wasn't like a huge DC character. And I be doggone that James Gunn made me care about a dude with literally a toilet bowl on his face. He just did it for me. He did it for me. And I am so happy. And again, listen to James talk about his scenes. Like, he's an excellent director. Now, I know Peter Safran handles more of the external portion of the makeup of the DCU, and I know James is the creative of that. But it does make me like really interested in Supergirl now. Like, just because, again, Superman, I always felt like Superman, to try to have this godlike character be human, he still wasn't human enough. And some of it, even some of his stories in the comics, from what I read, to turn me completely off, just wasn't human enough. Like, he's just a MacGuffin that could just save anything at any time. That's a lot of the times that they made him right. Same thing with Batman. Unless you get to, some like DC Black stories where it's really gritty and grimy, and you're starting to see the flawed version of Bruce Wayne. That's why I like Mask of the Phantasm so bad, because it shows a humanistic side of Batman. It's hard for me to root for those characters when they can just fix everything in their world. And there's no ground level. And I love what James Gunn has done with these particular characters, especially like Rocket Raccoon and Groot, even Star-Lord, making me care. That's it. At the end of the day, they made me care. And Yondu is nothing like what James Gunn put on screen with Michael Rooker, but he made me feel something. And as a person who consumes this art form, which is movies, which is television, theater, you got to make me feel. And as an actor myself, your job is to make it feel. And damn, man, they made me feel. They made me feel. So I'm down with it. But what is going on? Tina, aka Minty Gazzle, what's up? What's up? What's up? My man, she came through the house. Happy Friday. Hunter Iggy said, the Dre Mac Show, do you think we will ever get 7-way battle royal Justice League versus the Authority versus the Third Reich versus Crown Syndicate? I'll probably not. But you never know. With James Gunn, you never know. Because again, he brought out one of the original, but people forget about this, that James Gunn actually had one of the original teams of the Guardians of the Galaxy in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. So there's nothing out of the realm of possibility. Mario Faith Warrior, what is up? What's good? What's good? Good morning, my brother. Good morning. From me to you, good morning. But I got to shout out all my magnificent crew members, man. You guys have been holding it down. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Let's go ahead and get that shout out. Let's go. Hold up. Wait a minute. Wait. Whoa. Stop everything you're doing. Go and hit that like button. I know this is probably your first time watching and you probably enjoying everything. Stop fucking on the channel and go and hit that subscribe button so you never miss one of my videos or one of my morning live streams. And for only $2.99 a month, you can be a part of the crew. And shout out to all my crew members that been holding it down for Dre Mac and the crew since the beginning. All right, back to your regularly scheduled program, now in service. Go. Bye. All right. And again, thank you to all of the magnificent crew members, man. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. J. Carter, good morning, good morning, good morning. Yes, I did see the Birdman drop that grifter video. And I kind of, actually, not kind of, tomorrow, I actually have an exposing the grift video that I'm doing on Stevie Knight, because Stevie Knight is full-fledged grifter now. And I'm going to react, to him. And this is going to be, it's going to be a video. So everybody who's a member, you guys will see it first, and then everybody else will see it later. But Stevie Knight is now playing the victim. Completely playing the victim. They took my stuff out of context, and starvation is different, between it's just they took it out of context, though, man. I don't like it. And I'm going to explain how Stevie Knight technically used, being a rap react channel to build up your audience just for you to do Night Nation and Griff. So that's coming up, and I might do that Birdman video on Monday. So we have some material on Monday. So yeah, he ain't the only one. He ain't the only one. And Johnny Rastafari, I'm actually really interested in everything James Gunn does now. Like, because I would never thought Peacemaker would make me feel like, I'm talking about, my mouth dropped. This is a 35-minute show, and if you take away the intro and some of the things, it's really like 32 minutes. My mouth dropped. I actually was, man, oh my God. Anyway, what is up, Sharita? Good morning, good morning, good morning. She says she ain't tasting no biscuits this morning. You go taste them. You go get the buttermilk biscuits. Well, I told y'all, when I hit 5,000 subscribers, I will have a gift. I'm going to do a giveaway. And in that giveaway, you are going to get a can of biscuit. So you can taste the biscuits with some honey sauce, a pack of honey, a pack of honey sauce, and some butter. What is up, Robin D, the admin? Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, we are going to transition here. I put this on everything I love. I really feel like one day I'm gonna get Debo, boy. They gonna come to me, man. Oh my God, that day I'm gonna have to put something on. Like, I'm gonna have to have my phone on record. Stevie Knight go come to me. Hey, man. So I'm a grifter, huh? You saying I'm man? Dude. All right, let's go to a commercial break. Let me pick a good one. I know it's one y'all ain't seen in a minute. I'll be right back with more of the Dre Max Show.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Now you can own one of the greatest gospel albums ever on the road with only giant hits and legendary stars.
Biscuit. I know it's the truth about it. I love. Oh, how I love this biscuit. Oh, how I love this biscuit. It is the best biscuit. I know.
This treasury is not sold in stores, and when you call the toll-free number now, you also get another entire album of all-time gospel favorites.
We now return to the Transformers.
More than meets the eye. Boy, oh, how I love this biscuit. Every time I see that picture of Stevie Knight cheesing that damn hard, man, it was for after the Sinners review. And I can't think of the brother's name off tops. But when he did the Sinners reaction, I was like, wait a minute. Stevie Knight did a reaction video to Sinners, and ever since then, I knew he was a and a lot of these dudes are really grifting. Like, I'm trying to tell you, man, I don't care what side of the party you lean politically. I have concern. I tell everybody I am an independent. I am registered as an independent. I have conservative views to certain things. I have liberal views to certain things. I personally believe in bipartisan, but I also believe that the government should serve the people. That's why I always believe in power to the people. The Black Panther mantra, because it is power to the people. You know what I mean? The people have to be served so the society is run well. When you neglect the people, you neglect the society. Sorry. You know what I'm saying? I do feel like you want us to pay taxes, but you don't want us to pay, you don't want to take care of the people that's less fortunate around here. It's ridiculous. We supposed to have a running, thriving society. No matter what political aisle that you lean towards, as long as you're serving the people, I don't care. But when you go to the extremes and all that other stuff, I don't care what extreme. You far left or far right, I'm out. I don't care. I am out. So, yeah, that's it. What is up, Sam? What's up? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. You said send the Griffs some biscuits, no butter, no syrup, no water. I should send them. It's either between Popeyes or Church's Chicken. Y'all getting one of those biscuits. Those biscuits, boy, you can play hockey on one of those biscuits. Boy, I am so glad that I have a gluten allergy because good guy. All right, let's go ahead. Let's get to the main video because y'all gonna be looking at me but like, come on, dog. Come on, buddy. Come on. And this is called like a Keith in the night. Now, Popeyes, boy. I never had Bojangles. So, I mean, but according to matter of fact, before we get to this, I wonder how good Bojangles is. Let's go ahead and ask my man Gilly the Kid how good Bojangles is.
We'll be right back. It's just your mama's raisin butter biscuits. That's all it is.
Not my mama biscuits.
What they do?
Take a lug to a biscuit, man.
What they do?
Okay, so what happened is one time Randy Beeman went on a trip with his dad and they picked up a lady who wanted to ride home, and this was in Kansas. And she sat in the back seat, and when they got where she wanted to go, they turned around and she was gone. And Randy Beeman's dad talked to the man who lived there and told him what the lady looked like. And the man said, "Oh, that's my wife, but she died 4 years ago." Spooky, huh? Okay, bye.
What they do?
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit.
What they do?
Good idea. Visiting the circus. Bad idea. Having the circus visit you.
We now return to the Transformers.
Technically, I find any excuse to play those, especially that one. I just love. Only reason why, because I had two of I forgot his name from Animaniacs of that clip. But since he said Kansas and was spooky, I was like, first of all, why Kansas got to catch a stray? You know what I'm saying? And because Mika G is, does Cinematic Nightmares, it made me think of her as far as like what she does as far as her show. And I was like, I just want to throw that in there. So like I said, I don't think I have to work this weekend. So most definitely I'm looking at doing some more, but like Plucky Duck and or Baby Plucky and stuff like that. So yeah. I also need to, because she's gonna probably see me, clothesline me from hell, and then leg drop me from the top rope. If I don't have biscuit emojis. What is up, Mika G? You summoned me, and I am here. But yeah, I was like, Mika will love this because it's kind of spooky, but he's telling a spooky story in the snow. And this was in Kansas. Oh, Pinky and the Brain, all of that. Why'd I go down the hole? It's still Ella. He said, I want to push the button. All right. Oh, man. I love Baby Plucky was the greatest thing ever for Tiny. Well, that's Tiny Toons. The Animaniacs, Tiny Toon Adventures and Animaniacs, greatest hour of television ever. Greatest. I don't care what. Well, only to rival like Batman the Animated Series is the X-Men. You know what I mean? Oh my God, my childhood was awesome. Oh, let's get to it. Let's get to it. This is the Good Feather. Oh, Caliber coming in. What a good way. Enrique coming in. Yeah, the Good Feathers. Oh man, that's it. Great. I'm telling you, my childhood. Well, when it came to that, I'm sorry. I'll tell anybody this, and I kind of want to do Mika G if you down with it, you know, Blue, if you down with it, I would love to do like the greatest, like we got to narrow in the top, like maybe top 10 or top 15 cartoons of the 90s. I think we could get, I know good and well, we could get 15 of the night, the whole entire 1990 to 1999. I'm not about to have you in the, I mean, you kind of in the, you know, the biscuit business, kind of in the biscuit business. But yeah, Darkwing Duck, let's get dangerous. I got the whole set of Darkwing Duck though, the whole set of Darkwing Duck, TMNT, and that's the thing. I can't include TMNT in that because they actually debuted in '87, so I could not include them into that. It has to be 90 shows, and our shows were awesome when I was a kid. I don't care what nobody say. The real Ghostbusters, even though that was kind of what 80, I think that was 88. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God. Oh, I'm getting. Oh my God, Tailspins. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, let me stop. Well, I'm getting excited. We need to do that show. We need to do that show. I'm telling you, I think that would be awesome. You see me getting excited? I'm excited. All right. So, like a keep in the night, because this episode actually has to deal with stop it, Sharita. You're making me excited. Not the Jack, and it was voiced by Jackie Chan. I hate the biscuits as much as I hate the body roll. Look, you keep playing, you're gonna get both. You go get a 2-for-1 special. Both versions. But I like the real Ghostbusters better than the original Funimation Ghostbusters. Because I used to get mad when they be like, oh, Ghostbusters is on, and it ain't the real Ghostbusters. It's 2 dudes and a monkey. I used to get mad about that. I was like, that's racist. I'm sorry. I used to say that was racist. Not like you couldn't have a brother in there, but you got an 8? Racist. Anyway, all right, let's get to this. Because we need to do that for a show. We need to do that for Blurred AF, most definitely. You know, hosted, you know, presented by, you know, you know what? Let me go. But presented by the Dre Max Show, Cinematic Nightmares, and Blue South Live. Pow! All right. Keep it tonight because okay, everybody go to the 28-minute mark, and I'm gonna start the show. I'm starting to review. Stop giving me good stuff, Mario Faith. I love Biker Mice from Mars. Stop it. You're giving me more good stuff. Let's save it for Mondays or something. Let's save it for one of those days. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, maybe y'all do it on a Monday or a Monday morning show or something. You know what I'm saying? But let's stop all the good stuff. And Mika G, don't be laughing at me. Don't be laughing. Don't be giggling. You keep your giggles to yourself, Mika G. All right, so we are starting the episode where Chris literally pays attention. This is the wildest scene of all time. This right, it just clicked there. But if this is your first time watching this, you're watching my reaction videos. For one, something is wrong with me, so I'm glad you clicked on my face. Second of all, I clip these in 10-second intervals. I do not play the sound because of copyrights, and I don't feel like fighting Warner Brothers. I don't. So, yeah. And Clickety cloud. But yeah, so yeah, and I give my commentary on what I think about the scene. All right. Yeah, that's wild. How did he miss this? How did you walk? Was you so was Chris so blinded by meeting this other hardcore that he didn't know he was in he was in the Nazi universe? Yeah. And I'm gonna give it this. So in the podcast, James Gunn was talking to I think her name is Danielle Williams, who plays Adebayo. And he was like, she was like, well, I wonder what myself would look like in Earth 2. And he started like he mentioned, well, there is an Earth 2, which would be dope. Going to what we see in I don't think that's gonna happen. But that we're gonna see that. I don't think we're gonna see Earth 2. It would be now, if you want to have a cameo, if you want to have the cameo of all cameos, right? You see Superman from Earth 2 played by Michael B. Jordan in Earth 2. I'm not gonna lie, that'd be a damn good because they showed you some glimpses of these other worlds. So if they wanted to do that, they have all rights and opportunity to do that. And I think it would be awesome. I really do. I think it would be awesome if they did that. Will they do it? No, because it would literally break all the grifters' minds if he does shows you a glimpse of Earth 2 with a black Superman and all black people. That's not racist. Just saying. But yeah, so how did Chris miss a mural of without Puma Lee, the funny man with the little mustache, with just Nazi everywhere. The Drake Mack show. What about Earth X as Henry Cavill Overman? That would be dope, but I don't think that way. I don't even think Henry Cavill would sign up for that. But Dean Cain will. And she's scrolling, she's going at him like, you didn't see that? Like, out of everything that you was looking at, you didn't notice any of that? You didn't notice that? You didn't see that? It was like he wasn't paying attention. So, he was like, yo, we gotta get up out of here. So, hardcore Chris start taking out all these guards. He told the other hardcore we're gonna break up. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm good. She was like, why? Because we're doing this. Because they tried to get her to arrest this version of hardcore, but that wasn't gonna happen. They got up out of here. Now we know why in the dance scene they did, the arms the way they did, because they were letting you know we're gonna be in Naziville. So they did not lie. They did put it in the trailer. You know what I mean? In the intro. And then Vigilante. Now, I will say this. And this is going to come off a little I don't know how to say this without making it sound weird. But Vigilante went straight Deadpool in this. There are scenes in here where he's almost more like the Deadpool in the comics. Listen to what I'm saying. Now, this is coming from a Deadpool fan, a strict Deadpool fanboy. But he's more Deadpool in this show from the comic side than Ryan Reynolds is. And I say that because Deadpool is a psycho. He's a complete psychopath in the comics, especially when they were written by Fabian Nicieza and I forgot not Mark Waid, because Mark Waid did him too. Oh God, I can't think of his name. I see his name, but I can't see his to pronounce it. And my comments are put up, the original comics. But he is straight crazy. He talks to himself, all of that stuff, has emotional fits, all of that stuff. He thinks he's doing right when he's really not, but he's on a revenge tour. That Vigilante is embodying, this character as a Deadpool-esque character, and he is hitting it over the head. And he was explaining to him how he's in Knoxville, and he's explaining to him that Cheerios in his world is spelled with one O, not with an H. And this was good. The composition and stuff like here, the way that they cut this scene was dope. I'm trying to tell you, I wouldn't have known that this was CGI, this was a body double, or any of that. The way they cut this looks so real. And there's an easy way to do this, because you can actually film this without the camera moving, then, with one scene, then film him interacting in another scene, on the opposite side, and just crop the two. Hell, I can do that on InShot. Crop the two videos together, and make them seamless, and you're not missing a beat. Whoever did the editing and the effects on this, I'm talking about chef's kiss. This is amazing. You can't even tell that these are two totally different people, because it looks like he's talking to himself. Like, for real. Different glasses, the whole nine. That's how you can tell them apart. You know what I mean? So they, mounted up, like regulators. They mounted up. So now you got Keith. This is when they were running after Adebayo. John is sitting there with Augie, alternate Earth Augie. This is gonna sound weird, man. It's gonna sound weird, but can I pour out some for my man Augie? Not gonna lie, the shock of this whole entire thing, the shock, and it just totally destroyed my my theory that the Augie switched places. No, son. Now, Adebayo with some few clever cuts, hop the fence. They got all the crazy Nazis after her. And then they explained that in this universe, they put everybody that's gay, that is of a different race or whatever, they put them in concentration camps. And the Sons of Liberty is the ones who goes after these fascist regimes, which is amazing. Now, Judo Master comes in and helps this. And thanks, X. As soon as I look up something that I get a notification, somebody spoiled this part for me, because Judo Master did save Adebayo. And then you still got Hardcore them getting out of there. Chris grabs Hardcore, jetpacks up out of there, misses the door completely and went through glass. And I'm glad somebody said it. She was like, Chris, God dang it, we went through glass. And he was like, I'm sorry, I was aiming for the door. She was like, I never use this thing with holding on to somebody, which is funny because every time you watch like Superman or any movie where somebody's a flying character, they always fly with no problem. It's all good, all of that. Not here. Not here. What's up, Six of Truth? Gunn has been reaching and overselling these last episodes because they have been mid and sets up nothing for legacy like he's been. I totally disagree with you. And I'm going to tell you why I totally disagree with you at the end of the video. I'll tell you why I disagree. Because I believe, and especially for the setup that they use, because you have to, the MacGuffin is the alien technology to open up the portal. Everything else in this show, well, I guess I'm telling you now. So the MacGuffin is the portal, right? To get them from one dimension to another without blowing a hole in time-space continuum, without blowing a hole in the universe, like the black hole that we saw in Superman. All of that is explained in this episode, right? But also, you're dealing with a lot of character development for the 11th Street kids on all sides, not just Chris, but Hardcore. You're seeing where John Economos is, where Adebayo is at. You know what I'm saying? Where where Rick Flag Jr.'s motivation is on this. Those are great beat points because it gets you interested in the story that they're trying to tell, right? Me personally. Now, I'm not saying that you take us wrong. I'm saying this is why I disagree with it. Now, with the story they're trying to tell, they're actually telling you, which I personally believe, and they kind of teased it in the trailer for episode 7. Somebody's going to come out for different. I believe, now this is just a theory, I believe that they're going to pull somebody out from an alternate universe. That's going to be the big threat of, Man of Tomorrow. The reason why Superman and Lex has to, have to hook up. Is it Brainiac? Would it make in all my comic book fans, especially the DC fans, because I'm not super familiar with, I know who Brainiac is, I'm just not overall familiar with the character because I'm more of a Marvel fan. That's fair. Would it make sense, or would you be mad if it's Brainiac or anybody that they came from an alternate universe and they are now impeding on the DC universe? Would you be mad at that? Put it in the comment section below and let me know what you guys think. Also, there was something that James Gunn said in the podcast. He was talking about, we've already saw the multiverse. We've seen that there's 1,000 multiverses, right? But what does it look like truly in that universe? And I'm going to give James Gunn all of his props that he did it. This is the first time, and he said it, in the superhero genre, but technically this is the first time I actually saw actual characters in true character development over a series of shows or whatever, where that alternate universe actually built a better character from the character from the first time we see it to the end of the series. We can say, Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness. What did Doctor Strange really learn? Not to. He didn't learn anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not saying that the movie sucked, but story-wise, if we're gonna do the multiverse, the only other time we kind of seen a character, go through motivational changes is with Loki. But Loki was dealing with that with a female version of himself that he fell in love with. Chris came in in the first episode, and you see the depth of himself from an alternate universe, right? You see that. What's up, Kiana? What's up? But you see the depth of himself, right? So that's already a big thing for him. And then he's seen this alternate universe and thought it was the greatest thing since sliced bread because he was so blinded by wanting to be loved so bad he didn't even recognize all the foolishness and all the trash that was around him. And if you think about it in a humanistic standpoint, sometimes we act like that. We get so blinded by the things that we see, we forget about everything else. You know what I mean? So that's why I like it. What's up, Wavy Things? So they get out of there. Keith comes back and he meets with Augie. Augie explains to Keith that, yes, these guys are from an alternate universe, so we need to get these guys, we need to handle business. Then we found out that Chris from that timeline was really the ultimate Nazi. That he was really internally, he was the flip side. He was what his father was. And he explained once he went into that portal that the version that of Augie that he meant was not right. That he was pure evil. And he even thought he lives in just think about it like this, how mind-blowing this is. Chris, this version of Chris, Augie, and Keith live in a universe that is literally ran by the Nazis. We're 1942, Germany won, right? And Augie seen his alternate self worse than that he sees in this universe. Do you know how horrible you gotta be? Like, think about it like that. So I love there's you don't have to have a lot of dialogue in certain things, but they have to be impactful. They have to be able to move the story along, and they also have to tell the audience and give the audience a glimpse of literally what. Since we're not for this universe, give us a glimpse into this world. It doesn't have to be long dialogue. Just give me a glimpse. He gave him a glimpse. You know what I'm saying? He gave him a glimpse, and I like that. And he told him. Now, Eagly, Johnny Economos tried to get Eagly to untie him, and Eagly brought him a string. So Keith is also fueled by a little anger, which James Gunn has said is going to be wild to see Keith, his brother, in an alternate universe, be the villain for him if he steps over to the main continuity. That's going to be wild. And it wouldn't surprise me that he comes over to that alternate because he has nothing left. His father is gone. His brother is gone. He's literally what Chris is in his universe now because everybody's gone except they didn't go at the ages. He's not the one who had to put his father down, but he's seen his alternate self and the friends that he had do that. That perfect creation of a new villain, especially an obscure character, so he said, I don't know, Dre, but on the other hand, Vigilante was ready to pull that bird with Argus. Well, Argus put the cuss on Chris. Yeah, he was. Yeah, exactly. Total 180. We're going to get there, too. We're going to get there. The informant media. What's up? Again, where's the grifters at? So, he was telling them to chill out. Like, you're blinded by grief. Now, I'm not going to lie. Judo Master, hang with Adebayo, and they're kind of like bonding a little bit. Kind of remind me of Nebula and Tony Stark bonding, over paper football and all of that. Yeah, and this was Marley Martin. This was great. And Marley Martin, this question is to you. Did you feel like this was that you can literally pull up a comic book and actually see the dialogue and all of that in a comic book, like a DC Black comic book? Let me know what you think. When I was watching that scene, it's the only thing I could think of. Like, this looks like what happened in a comic book, and that was dope. So again, John Economos was trying to get free. Eagly couldn't do it. You got Cheat OH, and he said they're not good, and he was like, Cheetos, come and sponsor us. You know what I mean? Because my man is over there eating hot Cheetos, and they're bland. See, you ain't got the seasoning like we got over here. You know what I'm saying? You got that non-seasoning. So the reason why they're in the house is because they're in a house that was totally empty. And he was like, I'm going to crash here because I can get in here and crash out until they get back and hide out. But this is a scene that James Gunn was talking about in the podcast, which I love this scene because they explained that they were on they were getting pulled on a trailer on the bike. But look at, like, this is the first. Now, tell me this. Again, great storytelling. Remember, just in the last episode, she was talking about just how terrible she was, how basically she was just telling herself how worthless she was, right? Look at her with Chris now. Do you not see the serenity that they put on her face? And again, the lighting, they said it was natural light because it was a nice sunny day. Look at that. Like, you see her in a different light. And he is really trying to get that motorcycle in the next universe. And then you have now the actual shot of them on a motorcycle while they're being chased by the police. But you could clearly tell that was green screened in. Hold on. You could clearly tell why. Why? Because I have to stop it and start it a little bit, but you could tell, like once they get up to the part, you could tell that that's not real. I can tell that's not real, but still, good stuff. Good stuff. All right, so look, this is the first. This is literally the first time. Look at Chris. This is all he ever wanted. Like with the cops behind him, just think about how impactful visual storytelling is. James Gunn, come and get a brother. You know what I'm saying? Come get me, man. I want to be in a movie. But the visual storytelling. This is some of the best visual storytellers that I've seen this year in the comic book realm. I'll give props to Fantastic Four also. Because the visual storytelling, again, no dialogue, music playing, and look at her face. All minus the blood, all of that, minus what we just seen them got, them getting chased by the police, them have to leave. Look at her. She's in complete serenity now. That's the face John Cena makes. Yes, does he look a little bit like Ernest P. Ward? You know what I'm saying? Yes, he does. He looks a little bit like Ernest goes to Earth X. I used to love Ernest when I was growing up. But did you see the look on his face? That's visual storytelling. That's all Chris wanted. She's leaning on him. She's actually comfortable. This is her expressing her feelings without saying a word. And Chris's face tells the whole entire story. Now it makes him more determined to take care of her. Look how she's holding, how he's holding her. That's all he ever wanted. That's all he ever wanted. That was the biggest thing, is she's holding. This is visual storytelling 101. This is him riding on a horse with his lady holding him. This is the equivalent of that in in Westerns. Where the hero gets the girl, and look how she's, that whole scene right there, it puts a bow on the beginning where he was like, how do you feel? When he was pressuring her, right? When he was pressuring her to tell him how she felt on the boat. When he was like, how did you feel? What did it matter to you? Whatever. And she was snapping on him and just didn't want to talk or whatever. Without saying a word. That's the answer. That's the answer right there. And again, the man's getting chased on by the police, and they're having a moment. So, this is where we find out, Augie as Blue Dragon, unlike his Earth 1 counterpart, is really not a bad guy. He's really not a Nazi. The guy generally does not agree with any of this. Any of what's going on, any of this. And of course, his brother wants to get him, but Augie is telling him to stand down in this. This is literally, yes, exactly, Xavier, showing a love story in the midst of chaos. This is literally almost like not Romeo and Juliet, but like you said, in the midst of chaos, I'm going to show you, love and admiration. I love this series. But again, this also, I got to give James Gunn his props. And I think Caliber or Puma Lee, one of you guys said it earlier, they made us care about Augie from this Earth too. You know what I mean? Because he's not the same Augie that we've dealt with. This is a different Augie. This is a Augie who, actually wants, betterment in this world. And he actually has an excellent speech. Maybe I should add the no, what am I doing? Yeah, But we get Sidney from Man of Steel. He was one of the geniuses that was with old Lex, and this is who Lex was talking about, which a lot of new rock stars and all of that already pointed out just by his tone and his voice. Were like, "Yep, the Sidney Hepperson. I think his real name is can't think something Blackheart. Can't think of his first name, but yeah." He is the one who actually developed the technology to find out where that how to be able to find that black hole energy. Basically, he developed all the technology to get the portals. And why Rick Flag called my man Smiley, not knowing that man was smiling the whole entire time. So this was about finding Chris. So they actually pinpoint the area. They also says that this particular portal is actually not like the portal that Lex used, which also brings me to something else. We have this could be boom tube technology that we don't know yet, right? And the alien probably was still in it from Apocalypse. What if they could be setting up in the future for Apocalypse? I don't know. There's so many things that could go through your mind. I think that it's not good. They're not going to go straight to Dark Side. I don't think they're going to go straight to Dark Side, but it wouldn't surprise me if they go to Apocalypse to show you. It also would surprise me if they showed the DCEU, which I would be mad if the Flash gets a cameo, but Jonathan Majors can't get his job back. Anyway, so they pinpoint him. They go to the house and kind of go from there. And he said, "Who was crushing you?" It said, and that's when they explained that how could he not pay attention to some of the stuff that was going on, and then Adebayo and Judo Master actually have a moment where they're talking about like how flawed Chris is, but he's still my friend. And I think even Judo Master had to take a little bit, especially after being in this universe, hey, maybe he's not a bad guy after all. Oh, Xavier Phoenix, I would love that too. If he wanted to get back into the superhero business, or even supervillain. I would love for him to be Darkseid, honestly. That would be dope. That'd be icing on it. That'd be crazy. And instead of playing Scrabble, they're playing Squabble. Is that like a German term? I don't know if, yeah, this was a great message in this scene. This here was great because he basically said, "Hey, we saved your life. We can get you out of here if you want to." And this is where Chris comes clean and said, "I never meant to hurt the other one. He came in and attacking me and everything. And, I hit his button. He flew in the air and he stabbed himself." And he was really, literally genuine. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, and Keith is blinded by anger because, his alternate self, brother just killed his brother, which in his universe, Chris killed him. So there's so much that you could do with this story. Again, creating characters, not just action scenes. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I grew up in the 80s. So when you saw movies, you saw action scenes with no character development. The guy was just, an action star, but he had no personality for real, no nothing. And this is what they didn't do that with him. So he told the truth. He came clean. So he told him that there's more people like them. Now, Larry Fitzgibbon, he was with the Evergreen PD in season 1 when the whole butterflies or whatever, we found out he was one of the butterflies. So it was hilarious to bring him back. And it was funny because James Gunn was like, he was the only white dude that we could bring back from the main cast. And I was rolling because his partner was Asian and the other guy was a black man. I got to give James his props on this. Yeah, we're going to get to that, Pumalee. You know what I'm saying? We go get to this. But, you know, he basically told him, you know, whatever. It's like, I never said he was innocent, but get out of here. And shut the door on him. You know, so Judo Master, Adebayo, and the two vigilantes are trying to find a way to get in there. And Vigilante 2 is wild. Both of them are wild. But I love just the way that they did the story. And again, this is where it remind me really of Deadpool. You know, in this particular, and the reason why, like I said, it just remind me of the 90s take of Deadpool. Once he got his solo series, and I think that solo series came in 97. If you look at how Vigilante is in here, this is exactly how he was in the comics. Not joking. You know, all the little jokes and stuff like that, except they don't have the thought bubble. He's not talking to himself all the time. So again, you know, he was letting them know that that he was going to protect him. And, you know, this is where he literally explains that, hey, your brother was out of control. You know what I'm saying? Augie was a positive hero because if you, we're gonna go over it. We're gonna go over it. You know, because for one, in this scene, you know, for one, other Augie, just think about the parallel, Six of Truth, of Augie racist, really super racist Augie, right? Super racist Augie, you know, called his son all kinds of names because he punched his son, who he made fight. He goes into a seizure, he dies, and made him feel like it was his fault, right? Always putting his son down, all of that. He's telling his son, in this universe, revenge is not going to bring him back. No matter what you do. There's a lot of great things that are said in here. You know what I'm saying? And this is where he said, awfully generous for a Nazi. This is with Harcourt. He said, don't call me that. Don't call you a Nazi. That's what she's saying. And he did not want to be called that. He said, I didn't create the problems in my world. But we're going to go over it, Six of Truth. Because you said, you know, did we all miss it? I didn't. But listen, let's go over it. I didn't create the problems in my world, Missy. He said, I don't agree with them. Just because we live in a society that's ran a certain way doesn't, and this is, I'm not going to lie, with everything that has happened and all of that, this was on time. Right? Because, look, we live in a society and we know how it was built. I don't have to go over it. It's been said, you know, millions of times. You know what I'm saying? Millions of times. Like, in his world, Germany won. Think about it like this. Germany won in his time, right? So they built a society from there, right? So through laws, legislation, all of that, you know, is how they enforced what was going on in that society. Just the same way that they did in this one. Right? Just like they did in this one. And honestly, he's showing you what really white privilege really is. Right? Because if you think about it, they truly benefit from being in society. Look at his house. Look at the vehicles that they were driving. That F-250 is an $80,000 F-250 that he's driving in. I'm just saying, right? So, yeah, he's benefit that doesn't mean he agree with it. Even though he's benefiting, doesn't mean he agree with it. That's what he's saying in this scene, right? All right, let's keep going. He said, I applaud you if your world is perfect. That's being sarcastic. I applaud you if your world is perfect, because he's basically saying there's no perfect world. Chris came over there and thought this was the perfect euphoria. He thought everything was grandeur, you know what I'm saying? And it was sunshine and lollipops. No, it's not. This world is trash. No different than the world he lives in. But we have to, even though the world is trash, we got to make it at the best way we possibly can. That doesn't mean go grift. But how can I make it better every day? First, it starts with me. How can I make it better? How can I navigate through the traps that this society already set up for me? And if you don't believe there's traps here, you're blinded or you haven't ran into them yet. Because there are traps in this society. If you don't do nothing, they call you. Let me shut up. Let me shut up. Let me shut up. Let me shut up. No world is perfect. That's what he's saying. He said, I applaud you if your word is perfect. And you fight. He said, I applaud you if your word is perfect. And you fight every injustice you see. Do we do that? Nope. I can't fight everything that I see. I can't. You know, I got to fight for the things that I believe in, that I know that I will have a direct impact on. But I can't fight every injustice. That's what he's saying. You know, and if you really think about it, think about back to, I think it was episode 2 or 3, when we first get introduced to Augie and Keith. And I was like, wait a minute, they just blew up the helicopters. They didn't care nothing about them cops or the lives of those people. That was a clue. Yes, did they also blow up the Sons of Liberty? Yes. The people who could make a difference, they stopped. And they also put the people that they didn't care about in danger. Shouldn't that be a telltale sign about literally how that is in our society? Which I will always say, people that want to be our allies, the way that they did it is literally living. This is an example of how you can say, you know what, I don't believe in all of that stuff. I could be an ally, but I would still destroy you in the process because I could get paid for it. And I could make a lot of money. I could make myself a hero in this society too. Not saying he's a good guy. He is just flawed by the circumstances of his environment. That doesn't mean I can't understand where he's coming from and understand why he basically, you know, grifted or did any of that. I understand why. Because not only can I benefit, and let's keep it real, there's a lot of people that benefit off the ignorance of people in our society right now. They benefit off the ignorance. They make money off the ignorance, right? And they don't mind destroying, you know, or tearing down people here and there on their way. Isn't that what we got to see from, you know, and Augie wasn't really the one who was doing all the fighting. It was Keith. So if you really think about it, you know, I understand where he was coming from. Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. I'm going over this. Every injustice you see, he said, is that what you do? So now he's putting it back on them. Is that what you do? Since you want to criticize what I got going on in my society, are you fighting every injustice? Is your world perfect? What are you doing to make your world better? That's a hell of a question, because there's a lot of people who can tell you about your yard where they got snakes and wild bushes and all of that in theirs. This is literally what pissed me off when anytime they start talking about political debates and they want to, I got to keep it honest with you. That's what pissed me off when they want to go into these debates about what's going on and they bring black people into it and make it political when we didn't ask to be in your debates. We did not ask for it at all. Because my question is, what are you doing to make it better? You want to talk about what I got going on, what black people got going on, and the crime rate of black people, and black people this, and black people that, and black and black and black. And then you also have the people who don't have a mind, who don't think for themselves, cannot comprehend simple debates and questions, whatever. Don't want to research, don't want to. Then they create clones of these people, and they're the Stevie Knights. They go out and repeat garbage without finding their own voice in their own mind because they want to feel accepted, even though those same people won't accept you there. This is literally what they're saying. Without all of that going on, they're literally telling you. It's almost like this was perfect writing. Because she's trying to tell them, oh, you guys are not, you guys are this, and you guys are that. Isn't hardcore the same people that was beating up grown men to make herself feel good about herself? You get what I'm saying? So, again, that's why I said, let's go over it. Unfortunately, I haven't got the strength for that. You know, he's in his old age. I ain't got the strength to fight every single battle. Matter of fact, Tupac, one of Tupac's famous speeches was like, you know, the perfect time to fight is when you're young because you got so much energy and so much spunk and you ready to rah, you ready to fight. It was like once you get old, you don't want to fight no more. And that's where people get settled. And all they're showing is a character that's settled in his ways. How many, man, oh my God, this is such good stuff. Thank you for doing that. How many of our leaders, so-called leaders or older black people don't want to fight no more? They're settled. Matter of fact, let's bring the Boondocks. We can bring the Boondocks into this because this will make sense, the parallels, right? Granddad, what, you know, the matriarch of the family. I mean, I'm sorry, the patriarch of the family in the Boondocks, right? He talks about all the civil rights movements and all this stuff he did and all this stuff. Does he want to fight anymore? Or was he trying to find opportunities to get a lick like the the S word? That's the name of the episode? The S word? Where I find an opportunity to try to make some money off of my pain and my struggle. But does he really want to fight for it? No, he's settled. He's cool. You know what I'm saying? He's okay. Hold on. I'm going to be right back. I got to take a quick phone call. I'll be right back with more of the Dre Max Show. Give me just a second. All right, thank you. My son was calling me, so I had to take that. Exactly. Now, Huey wanted to fight. Huey was still with it. He wanted to fight. He was a freedom fighter. You look at Riley. Riley is the epitome of, I want to be flashy. I want to do this. I don't want to. I don't want to do research. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't believe everything they put in a book. You know what I mean? So all of that stuff. Tom Dubois literally is just unaware of everything. Just because you're a district attorney and all of that doesn't mean that you are, you're not black. And then when he got his black wake-up call, it still didn't hit him. You know what I'm saying? He still was walking around la-di-dee, la-da-da. You know what I mean? And then we get to Uncle Ruckus. A black fool that hates himself so much he can't see what's in front of him in the mirror. You know what I mean? How many of these people we talk about every day? I'm just saying. So what he's saying is absolutely correct. All right, let's keep going. He said, I fight the madman, murderers, and monsters in front of me. He said, because that's all I can control. Just think about that. I fight what's in front of me because the only thing I can is control what's in front of me. You know what I'm saying? I done got to an age where I can't fight legislator, but somebody young can go in there and fight legislation. If they get in there, they do what they're supposed to do or whatever. I mean, because I guess she's getting super popular, and I don't know much about her, so I'm not about to, do a lot of stuff. But Jasmine Crockett obviously is getting under Trump's skin because he throwing shots at her. So she must be doing something right. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I'm not following politics like I used to. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah. So, again, I can only fight what I can fight. I can only control what I can control. That's in my control. And then if that's the people around me, maybe that's my neighborhood. That's why I always used to tell people, y'all so worried about what the president is doing. You have no idea, what they're doing locally to stifle your kids, to not pave roads, to wonder why, if you live in an area like Chicago, Kansas City, Indiana, any place where it gets cold and it snows, why you can't even get, the proper, the city to come out and shovel your snow and all of that. Like, think about it. Like, really think about it. So he's in the middle of it. And Chris is realizing that this version of his dad is totally different than the other version of his dad. And that, again, that's that longing for love. And he said, when I said before God, and then he goes downhill because Vigilante goes in and, chop, chop, chop. I'm not going to lie, my jaw dropped because I was not, for some reason, I wasn't expecting that. I seen Vigilante come up, but I wasn't expecting him to do that. But that Vigilante, all he knows is the Augie from their universe and how he tried to take out Chris anyway. So you got that scene, and then they're trying to get John Economos out of the house in that chair instead of just untying him. You know what I'm saying? Which he was talking about how he had vertigo and everything. So they get out of there. They escape. They see, obviously his dad is now gone. Keith is pissed. And this scene is what got me. Because he's looking at all these pictures and stuff of them, and then Keith comes in and give him a kablowie, like, oh, snap. You know what I'm saying? He was beating the crap out of Chris. Now, again, this is so good. This could have been another time as kind of most Augie. I mean, probably to him he wasn't, because he came in and stabbed him in the hand. You know what I'm saying? Until he explained himself. You know what I'm saying? But hey, I ain't gonna lie. You come in my house unexpected, you might get stabbed in the hand. 6 is true. I don't like hands. You know what I'm saying? Ever since the Addams family, me and hands have a problem. So you might be coming up nubby. You know what I'm saying? Nothing but nub in all the wrong places. You can be out over there rubbing on people's chin with just a nub. That might be you. Anyway, so he's having a fight because they're ready to put a hole in him. You know what I'm saying? And Vigilante 2 is out here, making sure that the cops stay on him. Chris literally screams like I got to get to that scene. Chris literally sees his brother getting ready to die again, y'all. And he just screams. Man, I'm not gonna lie. The way he screamed in this scene was unsettling. It almost made me cry. Not even gonna lie to you. Because I understood, because I've been following this character now through a second season. This is another opportunity. He's basically saving his brother again from another death. And all he can see is, the things he went through with his actual brother, and he's about to lose his brother again. And to me, I think he was like, he's telling him, I'm sorry. Like John Cena is killing this character, man. And you gotta give James Gunn his props for the way that he put in elements from season 1, everything what Augie was saying to him, all of that, and he's playing in his head while he sobs. You know what I mean? And explaining to himself, like, it's been me this whole time. Like, he's literally said everything I touch. He's going back, when he stabbed Rick Flag, all of this stuff is playing on his mind. It was like, it ain't the world that's wrong or mine. Not your world, not my world. It's me. I'm the comic. And he's going back every single person that he, had to eliminate that was close to him. Even, unfortunately, pruning who he really is. The evilest version of himself. That he had to let go. And then remember, this was hardcore, saying how horrible she is. And to me, I think if they do bring his brother back, bring Keith back as a villain, right? He's still going to have a little soft spot for Chris, because he was still alive when all of this was going on. Exactly, Puma Lee. I 1000% agree with you. I believe that everybody's looking at Chris is literally break it down, Vigilante, like, oh snap. That's man, that right there hit hardcore. That hit her. That's why she wanted to pull a bullet in his dome. You know what I'm saying? So she wouldn't. And James Gunn explained in the podcast, which I will most definitely tell you guys to go and watch, that she still wanted Chris to despise her. So letting go of him would have been the biggest thing. But because it did not happen, she got, she was gonna do it. The cops came in and was gonna shoot her. Vigilante 2 made sure, and he did the most Deadpoolish of Deadpool things right here. This kick, that's some straight Deadpool stuff. That was dope, though. I'm not gonna lie. That was dope. You know what I mean? That was dope. And then we go in, they come out of the portal, Argus finds them. Then they undercut with Keith being treated by the medical staff. You know what I'm saying? And like literally he's in the midst of crying. I don't know what to take of this character. I don't know what to take of this character. But they get the MacGuffin, because that's what I'm calling it, because that's what the MacGuffin has been in this whole time. He gives it to Rick Flag. He was like, this is what you've been wanting, and this is the standoff. Judo Master goes over to the other side, and Chris was like, they all went into the dimensional portal to come get me. You know, they came in and convinced me to give it to you. You know, and Geo Master, he says, yeah. They arrest Chris, you know, and they take him off. And Chris is literally reflecting on everything. So that was the end of the episode. But before we get to the end of the episode, this is okay, yeah. This was nasty. He was like, you know, he was getting ready for the whole hub, and it was like, you know, if you want to see this is on you. So I want to get to this is the end of the episode, but I want to get to the season finale and what they set up. So here Chris is in the cell, and I'm going to literally stop and start this. You know, and he doesn't want to visit any of the people, right? Because he said I'm the angel of death. So I wonder, is he in not Arkham? Is he in where Lex Luthor is at? Or is he, well, Lex Luthor got moved to the Metropolis jail. So I wonder, is he in there with the Creature Commandos? I don't know. Yeah, and Judo Master went along with the story. Yeah, absolutely. So now they're starting to go to all of these different dimensions. Now, again, you mess up when you go into these different dimensions because each dimension is not the same. So each Argus member goes in here. You got my man, you know, finding these different divisions. They go in this one. It is literally lollipops in candy canes. You know what this reminds me of? The same road from Wreck-It Ralph. Let's look like the Wreck-It Ralph road or whatever. But something came out of that area. So Hardcore and I can't think of her name off tops. They have this thing. Well, they roping them back in, but hold up. Gotta go back. There's something in this land that went to go get them. So they roped them back in. So whatever that wasn't the same area, I don't believe. So they go into the stash. They try to get all of Vigilante's money. They said, do we even know what we're looking for? So they just start resources, new ground for overpopulation. So they're going in there to literally, you know, take over another world. So it looks like that world is. I know that's not Apocalypse, where Darkseid is at, but shut that door. And so when have we ever done anything that actually been for the good of the people? This is where they become heroes. And again, they have taken us on a hero's journey. So I think they're going through each dimension. These different dimensions are going to have something in there that you just can't help yourself. You're like, what the whole entire heck? You know what I'm saying? And again, this could set up, you know what I'm saying, Man of Tomorrow, because what's behind door number 3? You know what I'm saying? We don't know. You know what I'm saying? But obviously, yeah. Close the door. You know, so again, excellent episode. It was short, but it was so impactful. Well, what did you guys think about this particular episode? Make sure to put it in the comment section below and let me know what you guys think.
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up. Wrap that shit up, B.
Oh, excuse me. I ain't gonna lie, I had to yawn. I just didn't want to do it on camera. Yeah, but what did you guys think about this episode? I think this was fantastic. And I can't wait to go over the series finale with you guys next week. Can't. But I want you guys to enjoy your Friday. You know, tell me again in the comment section what you think about this episode, what you think about Peacemaker. Please, please, please put in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think. But again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell notification so you never, ever, ever miss one of my videos again, until next time, I'm gonna holler at you guys later. Peace and vibe power, man. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, especially your Friday. Where's my outro at? Because you already know. I gotta go. Wait a minute. You're telling me the video's over? What? Okay, I guess so. If you have came to this portion of the video, thank you so very much for sticking to the end. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that little bell notification so you never miss one of my videos. And if you really want to, you don't got to, go ahead and follow the social media links that's down below. Until next time, I'll holler at you guys later. Peace and vibe higher, y'all. Y'all take care of yourself.